All right, ladies, let's talk about something that no one teaches us, but everyone should know. How to kiss a man in a way that drives him absolutely wild. Now, I'm not talking about just locking lips. We've all done that. I'm talking about the kind of kiss that lingers in his mind hours after it's over. The kind that flips the power dynamic and has him chasing you for more. Because here's the truth. The sexiest kiss doesn't come from perfect technique. It comes from intention, confidence, and knowing exactly when to use what. Most people think a kiss begins with the lips, but if you really want to turn a man on, it actually begins before that. Way before your lips ever touch. That's where the tease kiss comes in. This isn't just a kiss. It's a psychological build-up. It's all about creating anticipation so intense that by the time you finally kiss him, he's already halfway undone. The tease is powerful because it flips the script. It turns the kiss into an event, something he has to earn, something he has to wait for, and something he won't be able to forget. To use the tease kiss effectively, you need to engage all his senses, except touch. You're going to stand close, maybe brush past him as you walk by, or let your fingers trail near his without actually making contact. Say something in a softer tone than usual. Look into his eyes just a little too long. All of these things send a message. It's coming, but not yet. And that moment of not getting what he wants is what builds the intensity. It's like when someone whispers a secret and you lean in without even realizing you're doing it. That's the power you're playing with here. You can even bring this energy into a moment when it feels like the kiss is about to happen. Maybe you're leaning in close, maybe your faces are just inches apart. Instead of kissing him, you hover. You let your breath brush against his skin. You look at his lips, maybe even let your lips graze his barely. That micro moment of restraint makes the moment 10 times hotter. Why? Because you're creating contrast. Most people go straight into a kiss. There's no tension, no spark, but when you tease, you're allowing the silence and space between you to speak louder than any kiss ever could. That pause makes everything more charged. Teasing also builds emotional confidence. It says, I'm in control here. You're not rushing in because you're desperate or nervous. You're taking your time because you know your value. You know that he's lucky to get that kiss and you're going to enjoy the process of giving it. This confidence is magnetic. It tells him that you're not just physically attractive, you're mentally and emotionally tuned in, and that makes the experience unforgettable. You're showing that seduction isn't about performance, it's about presence. The tease kiss also works because it makes the kiss mean something. In a world full of fast-paced flings and swipe-right connections, creating a moment of suspense is rare, and that rarity makes it special. By delaying gratification, you shift the energy. He becomes more present, more focused, and more aware of the experience. You're inviting him into the moment with you, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally too. And once you've built that level of intensity, even the lightest kiss will feel electric. The whisper kiss is all about combining sensual energy with the power of your voice. It's not just about kissing with your lips, it's about kissing with your words. When done right, this technique creates an incredibly intimate atmosphere, one that stimulates his mind just as much as his body. Most people overlook the importance of voice in physical chemistry, but it's one of the most powerful tools of seduction. A soft, breathy whisper delivered just before or during a kiss can melt even the most composed man. It's disarming, unexpected, and deeply arousing because it brings his focus to your breath, your tone, and your intention. You start by leaning in close, so close that your lips are just a whisper away from his ear. Let your breath touch his skin before any actual words are spoken. Then say something simple but meaningful, something that connects the emotional and the physical. You could say what you're feeling in the moment, like, I love how close you are. Or you could express desire with something more direct, like, I've been thinking about kissing you all day. The key is to say it softly, almost like it's a secret, and to stretch out your words just slightly. That shift in tone draws him in without needing to raise your voice. He has to lean in to catch every syllable. That effort creates a shared bubble of intimacy between you. What makes this method especially seductive is that it activates multiple senses at once. He hears your voice, feels your breath, and anticipates your touch, all in one moment. And that anticipation can be far more arousing than the kiss itself. It creates a sensory cocktail of sound, warmth, and suggestion. Whispering also allows you to play with rhythm and pacing. You can pause, let the silence hang, then continue. Those moments of stillness make every word more impactful and every kiss that follows more deliberate. Another element to incorporate is eye contact. Before you whisper, look him in the eyes. Hold that gaze for a second longer than usual. Let the silence settle, then lean in. That eye connection, combined with the whisper, builds tension. It makes him feel like he's the only person in the world in that moment, and that kind of focused attention is incredibly seductive. The whisper kiss isn't about going fast or being obvious, which is about creating a private moment that feels like a secret shared only between the two of you. The beauty of this technique is that it can happen anywhere, whether you're on a date, in the kitchen, or under the sheets. It's subtle but powerful. It doesn't require dramatic moves or flashy gestures. All it needs is presence, timing, and confidence in your own energy. You're not performing, you're connecting. And in that quiet space where words and touch meet, you create something that's both erotic and emotional, something that leaves him completely caught in the moment with you. The pause kiss is one of the most underrated yet powerful ways to create sexual tension and emotional magnetism in a moment. It's not about doing more, it's about doing less and doing it with precision. Most people approach kissing as a continuous flow of motion, lips on lips, movement, repetition. But when you introduce stillness into that rhythm, when you suddenly stop mid-kiss and hold that moment, you instantly create a shift in energy that he feels in his entire body. That pause isn't empty. It's charged, it's intentional, and it makes the kiss unforgettable. To use this technique effectively, you start by kissing slowly and deliberately. Set the pace with purpose. Let the kiss be deep but not rushed. Then, right in the middle of the kiss, stop. Don't pull away entirely, just hold still. Let your lips hover just a breath away from his. Maybe your foreheads are touching, maybe your hands are still on each other. Keep the closeness, but remove the movement. In that tiny gap, everything intensifies. He'll notice his own breath. He'll become hyper aware of your touch, your presence, and the space between your lips. That awareness is where the magic happens. The power of the pause is that it creates contrast. When you pull back slightly in the middle of something he's enjoying, it awakens a hunger. It's like pressing pause right at the climax of a song. It keeps the listener craving the next note. Emotionally, it signals control. You're not being swept away. You're leading the rhythm. That makes him lean into your energy even more. It makes him want to follow where you're going, to match your pace, to stay completely tuned into your cue. The pause can also be combined with eye contact or a playful smile to increase its effect. If you freeze mid-kiss and then look into his eyes with a half smirk, you've just turned that pause into a challenge, an invitation, a moment that says, "You want more? Then stay with me." This kind of energy speaks directly to desire, but it also hits something deeper. His sense of curiosity and emotional connection. It's not just physical chemistry at that point, it's a mental and emotional pull. Another powerful layer to the pause kiss is breath. During that still moment, let your breath hit his lips or his skin. That subtle sensation, warm, light, intimate, can drive him absolutely crazy. It's gentle, but it feels like fire because of the space you've created around it. And that's the secret. The pause only works when you create enough presence to let him feel everything. You're slowing down time. You're drawing out the experience. You're letting silence speak louder than action. Using the pause kiss tells him you're confident enough to not rush intimacy. You're here to enjoy it, to stretch it, to explore it. That confidence is rare, and it communicates that you're not just someone who kisses, you're someone who leads an experience. You don't need constant motion to be seductive. Sometimes stopping is the sexiest move you can make. The lip tug is one of the most subtly provocative kissing techniques you can use. And when it's done right, it sends a jolt of desire straight through him. It's not aggressive, it's not rough, it's just enough to catch him off guard in the best possible way. What makes it so sexy is the mix of softness and sudden intensity. It plays with contrast. The moment you're kissing gently and the next you're taking just a little more with your mouth, just enough to make him feel like you want him. And you're not afraid to show it. To pull this off, you start with a normal kiss, one that's slow, sensual, and connected. Build a rhythm first. Let him settle into it. Then, when he least expects it, gently take his lower lip between your teeth. Don't bite. Just hold it there, softly but firmly. Then pull back just a little, not too far, just enough to create tension. This small, controlled move sends a huge signal. It says you're playful, bold, and in touch with your sensual side. That little tug shifts the whole dynamic. It adds an edge. It takes the kiss from sweet to seductive in one smooth move. What makes this technique especially powerful is its element of surprise. Most kisses follow a predictable flow. When you break that flow with a lip tug, it wakes up his senses. Suddenly, he's more alert, more aware, more present. That unexpected moment causes a spike in tension, which deepens his desire. It doesn't just excite him physically, it sends a psychological signal that you're confident in your attraction and unafraid to take the lead. That's irresistible. The key is to keep it controlled. You don't need to be aggressive. In fact, the softer and more deliberate your tug, the more impact it has. You're teasing him with just enough pressure to keep him wondering what's coming next. You can even pause afterward and look at him, just for a second, to let the moment land. That small glance says everything. Did you like that? Because I've got more. You can also vary the pressure slightly depending on the moment. A very light tug can feel playful and flirtatious, while a slightly firmer one adds intensity. Either way, you're using your mouth not just to connect, but to communicate. You're telling him something without saying a word. You're showing him that kissing you isn't passive, it's engaging, it's dynamic, it's going to take him out of his head and drop him straight into the moment. The lip tug works best when you're completely present. It's not something to overthink, it's something to feel. Let your intuition guide you. If the moment feels right, go for it. If he's leaning in, matching your energy, and clearly into the vibe, that's your cue. And once you've done it once, you can play with it again later in the kiss, or even combine it with other techniques. It becomes part of the language you're building together, part of the chemistry that makes kissing you something he won't forget. The eye lock kiss is all about connection before contact. It's the kind of kiss that starts in the eyes, not the lips. And that's what makes it so powerfully seductive. Most people rush into kissing without thinking about the energy that leads up to it. But when you pause and hold eye contact before the kiss, you create a magnetic tension that pulls him in. It's an unspoken conversation where everything you're feeling, desire, excitement, confidence, is communicated without a single word. And that emotional build-up makes the physical kiss so much more intense. Before you even lean in, just look at him. Really look. Hold his gaze a few seconds longer than what feels normal. This is where the magic begins. Those few extra seconds tell him everything. They say you're confident, fully present, and completely aware of what's about to happen. That kind of energy doesn't just attract him, it consumes him. He starts to feel the shift in atmosphere. His body tenses slightly, his breathing might change, and most importantly, his attention becomes laser focused on you. That's the kind of chemistry you can't fake, and it starts with eye contact. There's something ancient and primal about locking eyes. It strips away distractions and puts both of you in the exact same moment. It's vulnerable, yes, but that's what makes it so powerful. It invites him to be present with you, not just physically, but emotionally. You're not just kissing him with your mouth. You're letting your eyes do the talking first. That anticipation, that slow build, is what makes the eventual kiss feel electric. It's not just about lust. It's about energy and emotional presence. When you finally move in to kiss, keep the connection going. Don't rush. Let your faces come closer slowly. Maybe your noses touch first. Maybe you hover just inches away for a second more. Still holding eye contact. Still letting him feel the weight of the moment. Then, just when the tension is at its peak, let your lips meet his. That first kiss after that extended eye lock will hit different. It won't just be physical. It'll feel like a release of all the tension you just built between you. This technique also works beautifully in moments of stillness. Maybe you've already kissed and you're pausing, foreheads resting against each other. You pull back just slightly, just enough to look him in the eyes again. That gaze can be as intimate, if not more, than the kiss itself. It reaffirms the connection. It says, I'm still here. I'm still with you. And that consistency of energy keeps the chemistry alive. The eye lock kiss is especially effective when you want to turn up the emotional heat without needing to say a word. It makes everything feel deeper, more intentional, more connected. You're not just playing with his body, you're playing with his mind and his heart. That kind of experience lingers, stays with him, makes him crave more, not just of your kiss, but of your presence. It transforms something simple into something unforgettable. The power pull-in is all about flipping the script and taking the lead in a way that feels bold, sexy, and completely confident. There's something incredibly magnetic about a woman who knows what she wants and isn't afraid to show it. When you take control of a kiss and pull a man in toward you, you're not just initiating a physical moment, you're sending a strong message. You're saying, I choose you. I want this. I'm not waiting for permission. That kind of energy is irresistible because it blends feminine sensuality with assertive presence. To do this effectively, it starts with body language. You don't need to be aggressive, just intentional. Whether you're standing face to face, sitting close on the couch, or even walking side by side, you create a shift in the energy by closing the space between you with deliberate motion. Place your hand gently on his chest, shoulder, or the back of his neck. That simple gesture communicates both desire and confidence. It's physical, but it's also psychological. You're guiding him into your space, and in doing so, you're igniting his interest in a much deeper way. Once you have him close, don't rush the kiss. Let the moment build. Let him feel your breath. Let the tension grow. You're creating anticipation just by holding him there, just by making him wait a second longer than expected. That delay makes the eventual kiss feel more charged, more meaningful. It's the difference between being kissed and being wanted. And when he feels that energy from you, it pulls him deeper into the moment. The power in this kiss doesn't come from force. It comes from clarity. You know what you want, and you're guiding the moment with confidence. It doesn't mean you're dominating him. It means you're inviting him into a space where you're already present, already lit up with your own desire. That kind of invitation is incredibly attractive because it makes him feel chosen. He's not just reacting to your kiss, he's responding to your energy. You can also add subtle variations to the power pull-in depending on the moment. Sometimes it's slow and tender with a soft touch and a lingering pause before your lips meet. Other times it's more sudden and playful, grabbing his shirt, pulling him towards you mid-conversation, surprising him with a kiss he didn't see coming. Both versions work because the core message is the same. You're not waiting around for passion to find you. You're creating it right here, right now. This technique also deepens the emotional connection because it shows vulnerability wrapped in strength. It's saying, I trust this moment. I trust this connection. And that emotional openness combined with physical initiative creates a powerful blend of attraction that hits him on multiple levels. It's not just about making the kiss hotter. It's about making him feel something deeper, something that catches him off guard in the best way possible, something that makes him want to kiss you back with just as much intention.